Alright, what we're going to do here is speed run one of the easiest Facebook ad campaigns you can set up for trade services. So starting out, you want to create, and then we're going to come down to leads, continue. Maybe I'll leave that over here. Set your budget. Generally, I'll recommend between 50 $100 a day. You don't really want to go much lower than that. I also like to date my campaigns and give them a little bit of a name. So it might be, let's go campaign 01, and maybe I add a date just to help me keep track. Now we'll leave this on campaign budget, but I've been starting to do ad set budget, which just means you can allocate a certain amount between each ad set. So you see you got campaign here, you got ad set, and then you got ad. But I'll go through that in a second. That, and you don't need to worry about that stuff. Then down to ad set. Same deal, I'll go ad set 01 ad set. And then generally what I'll do for these, I'll go add, maybe I'll add a name, and then I'll go 0.01, and I'll have a little bit of a naming convention like that. So ad set 1, I'll go 0.01, 0.02, 0.03, etc., etc. Now, just my luck for making this video that a day or two ago they actually changed the whole layout for me. But what we're going to do is go instant forms. We're not going website instant forms, which that'll just do instant forms, and then you can send them to your website afterwards if you really want to. But instant forms is just fine anyway. Then we go maximize number of leads. Nothing there, nothing there. And as a rule, basically, if there's any sort of recommendations that you see, you just want to turn them off, because what Facebook's doing is, like with this Advantage Plus on, basically Facebook has a bunch of different features that they want to test and they want to try out, but they need your money to do so. So you'll see all these things being like, oh, you can get cheaper leads if you turn A, B, and C on, but really all they're doing is they're testing something with your money. So as a default rule, you pretty much want to turn off all recommendations that they have. So basically, if you're looking at a page layout that's slightly different than mine, blanket rule, if you don't know what it is, just turn it off. And then down here, location. So if we did something like Sydney, and then you can determine how big of an area you want to go. So maybe you want to go, let's go 18. Then what you want to do is come here and go exclude, add a pin drop, and then just exclude the areas you want to block out. So that might be a bit big, so maybe I'll go 5. And you want to do a bunch of these around the place just to really narrow down. And then, like I was saying before, reach more people likely to respond, turn that off. And see, this is exactly 6.7% lower cost, which I guarantee you it's not. Or even if it is, it's going to be the wrong people. So leave that. More controls. Minimum age. So I usually don't like to go younger than 18. Oh no, sorry, younger than 25. Of course, depends on what your services are, but generally if you're a trade service, that's going to be it for you. Exclude custom audiences, all languages. I'll sometimes go English, but doesn't matter too much. Then here they have another age thing, which I know doesn't make sense, but they have it. Then you can do genders and a few other demographics if you really want to, but generally you want to try and leave it broad so the Facebook AI Andromeda has a bit of an audience to work with and target. So then here down in placements, they've recently changed this. Oh no, they've changed it back, sorry. So with this, you want to turn this off, turn that off, turn that off, turn that off, none. Include all recommended placements, nope. Devices, Facebook, Instagram, included 12. Just double check this. Always good to have a little double check because they do try to sneak a few things in their Facebook. And I think that is good. Now, just while I'm here, I just checked my other account because on the other interface on my other account, they've actually removed this whole thing. So if you're not seeing it, they may have changed it with something else, but generally just remember you want feeds and stories and then get rid of all that other stuff. All right, now we're down to the ad level. So you can see name, page selected, and it likes to do a little bit of a jump around. Multi-advertiser ads, you could run them. If you're running a lot of very similar ads, I wouldn't use this. Require SMS, turn that off, and then what we want to do is we want to create a form. Oh, and this is a new feature that I haven't even seen yet, so maybe I'll just give it a go while I'm here. As I thought, can't do something simple, but it's probably not really worth getting AI to generate it anyway. Now you've got your headline description, which will look like that. That, and then, where did my edit form? See, why do they always move stuff around? So this is what you should be looking at. More volume, higher intent. You don't want to do this because what you're doing is you're just adding more steps for them. That. Allow flexible form delivery. No, get rid of that. As I said, it's just more crap. Query form. Let's go get quote. And then down here, you can either put a bit of information or even add a little bit of a special or some sort of incentive to kind of get people to move along. Next. Now here we'll go multiple choice. What service are you most interested in? And then we can list out all the different things that we want to do. Which we'll just go A, B. Then down here we want to collect full name, email, phone number. Please provide your details below. That. Next. Privacy policy optional. So this used to be compulsory, but what you can do is you can just grab your privacy policy from your website and paste that in there. Custom notes, optional. Next, thank you. Now, generally, I'd say go to website where they can book in. Call I like, but the problem is with business calls is when people usually are scrolling on Facebook or Instagram, it's usually after hours and during the night. Like people are working during the day, they're busy, or they're on the weekend, and you're not always going to be answering your phone on the weekend. So as much as call's a good one to do, unless you have some sort of back-end automated system to either answer the phone or you've got a missed call text back sort of system in place, it's probably not the best one to do just because you need a few extra bits and pieces set up on the back end. Get quote, just keep it nice and simple. And now we have that. We'll come down here, Instaform, set up creative. So now we're going to go add original, let's go to that. Which I won't worry about this too much because we're only displaying in half the locations anyway. Then primary text. Now it is important that when you guys write these out that you are using specific words and terminology or saying important things. So naming your location or your service areas at the start is always pretty much best practice. All right, so I just wrote a quick little thing. So we're going call out the audience, identify a problem, why we're different, and so Sunshine Coast homeowners, your gutters don't look blocked from the ground. You normally find out when it starts pouring over the sides. We focus on the areas of your home that are easy to ignore, but can become a real headache when they're left too long. We make this process straightforward so you can get it handled without giving up your weekend. Build up grime removal. Gutters cleared, roof looking cleaner, one less job hanging over your head. We're taking $50 off roof and gutter cleaning for the next 10 bookings. Click the quote below. Then when the next lot of rain rolls through, you can relax knowing the job is done and being handled. So we got call out, identify a problem, what we do, a few little bullet points, our limited time offer, and then a little bit of a emotional trigger ending at the end. Now there's a bunch of other ways you can do this, but this is just a good little short one to help you guys identify how to kind of write these as well, because you don't want to overcomplicate them. You know, a lot of people will throw tons of text in there and it's like, no one's really reading that. And also the Facebook algorithm's going to read these things and be like, oh, gutter cleaning, roof cleaning, oh, built up grime, oh, Sunshine Coast homeowners. So all this stuff is important, and it's the same with the content of your static image or video ads, because Andromeda, the AI that does the targeting, now reads all of that stuff and targets a lot more based on that. Now down here, we'll just leave this as get quote, and then headline, we'll just make a call to action. Get your gutters cleaned. And then for the description, we're just going to use some social proof. So if you have any rewards, maybe your Google reviews, so we can go 150 5-star reviews, and then maybe add a few things like that in there. So call to action, social proof, and generally what I'll do is I'll do 3 or 4 of these and 3 or 4 of these, and then across all the ads it'll mix and match all of them and try a few different things out. But if you're starting out, you don't really need to worry about it too much. So bring that back over here. Next. Now, I don't really worry about any of these. I think they could be quite good in a bit, but to be honest, most of them they're too similar to the original ad to really worry about. And it's that same thing. Meta's just testing a bunch of stuff and you don't really want to be the guinea pig to it. So I leave all of those off. Then in here, I tend to just turn everything off. You could do a little bit of music. The one thing that I have been starting to leave on or improve is visual touch-ups. So I've been playing around with this, but you know, this image is already looking pretty clean, so I don't think it needs it. Done. All right. Now what I recommend doing is you can duplicate this, turn that off, and usually there's another thing they like to turn off, but like I said, they've just recently started changing a bunch of things. Then I'll just change that to that, and I'll use this. And I'd recommend doing maybe 4 to 6 ads to start with, and what you're going to notice is probably 1, maybe 2 of these ads are going to take off, and then the rest aren't going to do too much. So I'll run this for a week or 2, just so it gets a bit of data through it. Then you'll see a couple ads take off, and pretty much all the spend will be going into them. Then what you do is you duplicate the ad set. So if I duplicated this, and again, turn all of their stuff off. And what I'll do is, so say this has 6 ads in it, and there's 1 ad that's just taken off. This is the original ad running. It's not spending any money in the other 4 or 5 ads, so I'll just turn all those ads off and just keep running the good ones in here. But then in this one, what you do is you'd take out the 1 or 2 good ads and you'd replace them with something new, and then you'd run this again like a tester. And basically what it does is it gives all the other ads a chance, because there might still be another good ad in there, but because one of these took off first, it didn't really give the other ads a chance. So by taking out the good ones and running them on their own, you know you're spending money on good ads, but then you give all these other ads another chance to shine and take off as well. And you basically just keep repeating that process. So you run this, oh, all right, we found another winning ad or another good ad that's getting all the budget. Turn them all off, duplicate again, replace the good one in the new one. And you just do this on a cycle, and eventually you get a bunch of good ads. And the reason you do this is in this first set, when you got the really good ad that's going really well, eventually you are going to hit ad fatigue. Now, depending on how much money you're spending a day, you may hit that faster or slower or whatever. But if you're doing this process of always having a tester campaign or trying new things, you're basically always creating new winning ads so that when ad fatigue does happen, you already got a bunch of other good ads running. So, quick little rant, that's about it for this video. Don't forget to press publish and hopefully you guys get a few leads.